Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Yes. You get to choose the same way that I do. And what is it that we get to choose? We get to choose how we're going to think. We get to choose how we're going to look at things. We get to imagine how we'd like to see things. Remember, you're either a slave to your imaginings or a master of your imagination. I was cruising through Power of Awareness, and there's this statement here. Actually, it's an awakened imagination on sealed instructions. And Neville Goddard says, the imaginative image is the only thing to seek. Wow, think about that. The imaginative image. What he's talking about is images rooted in creativity and growing. Remember, you are a thinking center, always for expansion and fuller expression. Your imagination is the beginning of the externalization of outcomes. In the beginning was the word. How you see things imaginatively. So you're looking at something materially there, and what you're imagining to be true about it, guess what? That's what leads to outcomes, positive or negative. The whole point being, again, is that the power is in your hands. Remember, you always have a choice. Write that in your notes. Type it in the comments. I always have a choice. And again, what is that choice? The choice is how you're going to think. How you're thinking leads to how you're feeling. That feeling is the attractive force in your life. It determines what you're attracted to, what comes to you. See, again, the power is in you. Go within. You want to earn a lot more than what you're earning right now? Guess where you go? Don't go out there, go inside. You want to change your lifestyle? Simple. Go inside. Imagine it. Build it in your own mind first, as what's shared by Robert Collier, as also has been shared by Charles Haanel. Now, this is what we've been studying, and this is something that I highly recommend that you embed within you. And if you don't have a copy of this, get this. If you want this exact copy, which would be beneficial for you if you're hearing these calls so you can read along with us, get it. But most importantly, don't just read it. Don't just memorize it. Use it. It's the application, baby. That's where it's at. Apply it as if your life depends on it. You know why? Because it freaking does. All right, so let's go to where we are in this beautiful book. Let's tap into it. And where we are is where we left off in the last session. And the page that we're on is page 313, 313. That's a cool number. Now, again, pay attention to what's being said here, but most importantly, start thinking from how you could use this and apply it in your life. So, of course, the way to overcome fear is to become conscious of power. That's what we do here in everything Elevitality. This is what we teach you. This is what I have done in my life. This is what Dolly has done in her life. This is what we together have pulled together to help you to understand so you could use it in your life. This is what Bob Proctor did. He became conscious of the power. And how did he come conscious through the power to the power? How did we? Well, through study and application. See, Bob Proctor would say, study, you got to study, you study. But the thing that he didn't add, which I'm sure that if we were to have this conversation today, he would actually add in use, apply. Yes, study and apply. So, of course, the way we overcome fear is to become conscious of power. What is this mysterious vital force, which we call power? We don't know. Neither do we know what electricity is. Now, this here, again, is very interesting to me. It's fascinating to think about this. And here again, you can just look at electricity. We all know of electricity, but no one knows what it is. They only know what it does. They, meaning the scientists and stuff. I don't know how they, maneuvered it so it traveled through the wires in my house to end up at the light so that the light turns on. What I do know is that it works. But again, when you look at it, nobody knows what it looks like. I have no idea. They just know that it's energy. And the energy is being used to deliver outcomes. Think about how cool this is right now. We have cars that are electrical too. Not too long ago, that was something that was not thought of at all whatsoever. Is just like, yeah, sure, you're going to be able to do that. Why? Because it wasn't done yet. With that being said, the electricity is there. Now, again, we don't know what electricity is, and we don't know what this power is that we have. But we do know that by conforming to the requirements of the law by which electricity is governed, it will be our obedient servants. That it will light our homes, our cities, run our machinery, and serve us in many useful capacities. Now, again, this is happening everywhere right now, right? I mean, just look at the device that you're watching this on. There's electricity that's lighting up the screen, that's powering the speakers so that you could hear this. There's so much that the electricity is doing for us because we are working with the laws that govern it. And guess what? There's a lot more that we're going to be able to do with it as we become more conscious and aware of that power. It's changing. It's becoming more efficient. Well, here he goes further. And so it is with vital force. So it is with life, with creativity. Although we do not know what it is, and possibly we may never know, we do know that it is a primary force which manifests through living bodies, your body, my body, and that by complying with the laws and principles by which it is governed, we can open ourselves to a more abundant inflow of this vital energy and thus experience the highest possible degree of mental, moral, and spiritual efficiency. Isn't that what you're after? Isn't that why you're here? In essence, what is it saying? It's saying that you want better outcomes. You want better results, don't you? Nod your heads. Yes, that's what I want. That's what you would love to make a material fact in your life. Well, here he's saying that there are principles that determine the outcomes of your life that run this power. And when you work with those principles, you'll be able to get what it is that you seek. You want to be happier most of the time? You want to feel confident and secure? You want there to be more money at the end of the month instead of more month at the end of the money? Would you like to change your lifestyle? Well, guess what? You can deliver that. But you've got to work with the principles. You got to work with the law. And that law operates from how you're thinking. Now think about what's being shared with you here. The solution to every problem in your life is actually here in this paragraph. The question is whether or not you're going to use it. Now, this might be confusing when you're thinking about it, thinking, well, wait a minute, I don't understand it. Well, how do you get understanding of anything? See, this is where practice comes into play, where application comes into play. Practice, application, use. So I'm going to read this again. Remember, he talked about electricity. We don't know what electricity is, but we know what it does. And here he's talking about the vital force that you have access to. And so it is with vital force, although we do not know what it is and possibly may never know, we do know that it is a primary force, which manifests through living bodies, which manifests through your body and mine, individuals. And that by complying with the laws and principles by which it is governed, we can open ourselves to a more abundant inflow of this vital energy and thus experience the highest possible degree of mental, moral, and spiritual efficiency. Remember, everything is delivered the same. This is something Bob Proctor would say frequently. Everything is delivered the same. It always goes from the within to the without. When you control the within, you control the without. That's what we're wanting you to see. Now, before we proceed any further, for those of you who are watching this live stream, if you're connecting with this and feeling that this could really, really help you, then do yourself a favor and go to elevitality.com and register for Master Your Mind, where you'll have access to the remaining